And we're back, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, good to be back. Get everything set up. Okay, so I've got a couple of details about the tournament. So we'll update you on all of that. We have 27 teams, so that's 71 players, 81 players, which is really big, really exciting stuff. We're going to have 6 rounds of Swiss and a cut to top 4. We're going into round 2 now, which is good. And in terms of this match, this is a 1-0 table. On the left, we have Alex, who's on initiative. And on the right, we have Scott, who is on a Grixis mid-range deck. So players are going to draw their opening hand. Oh, sorry. On the left is Scott on Grixis. On the right is Alex on initiative. Okay. Let's check in on everything. Looks like everything's going well on my end, which is really, really good. We've got a bit of an interview set up that's coming, which is exciting. Sound off in chat if you're enjoying the stream. If you're having a good time, if you're enjoying watching some Australian Highlander, it's really, really important that the community is as involved as possible. This format is community driven. We make all the rules. We make sure everything works. We run all the events. And so if you're enjoying the stream, if you're enjoying the event, please sound off. If you're in the event and you have the stream going in between rounds, feel free to say hi. But otherwise, let's get into the match. So we've got Island Go versus Temple Garden Mother of Runes by the looks of it. Alex won for playing 8 points, so I believe that's an Ancient Tomb. And I don't even know what that card is. But Ancient Tomb going to deal 2 damage here, so Alex is on 15. I think it's a 6. I think that's what that is. Local teams again? Yes. Yes, this is 2 Melbourne-based teams. Or 2 Victorian-based teams. I'm not certain where everyone's from. Looks like a Swamp Cycle from a Troll from Scott here. Let's do this. Let's actually spell the word correctly. Lovely, there we go. Yeah, we have the feature match as table 1 by default, just so we have teams that are doing well. Over the course of the day, we'll make sure to get some interviews with some of the members of the community here. Alrighty, so follow-up from Scott here is a Baleful Strix. Thanks, Kat. Yeah, I mean, we're putting a lot of effort in, and while the coverage is a little bare bones, I think I'm making it work. Okay, so 6, it was definitely 6, milled 3, picked up an Arid Mesa, getting blocked by Baleful Strix, and now we're going to Mother of Runes the 6 to eat the Baleful Strix, which I think is reasonable. So now Alex has Temple Garden, Ancient Tomb, a 6 that's still going, which can rebuy spells, which is pretty impactful here. We're cracking the Mesa down to 14. Getting a basic Plains. I saw a Blood Moon in the hand. Might have a Simian Spirit Guide or a Chrome Mox or something to put the Blood Moon in play, which would be really high impact here. The 6 is definitely tapped, yep. Looks like we're casting Palace Jailer from the graveyard, discarding Horizon Canopy. So Alex pushing the advantage here. He has the board, he has the mana advantage, and now he has the monarchy. He's not eating any creatures with Palace Jailer, which I think is perfectly fine here because now Scott is under the gun. He has access to 2 mana, 3 mana if he plays a land, but he's against the monarchy. He's against a creature that matters. He's against a Mother of Runes. Alex has an Ancient Tomb, so he has 4 mana going to 5 mana next turn. He doesn't know it, but there's a Blood Moon coming as well. I think Scott's maybe 30% to win from here. Might be less. Looks like Expressive Iteration is going to exile a Dismember. If he's exiling Dismember, he clearly has the intent to cast it. So we're going to shock for Watery Grave, and then I imagine we're going to take 4 for Dismember here. No, just Fatal Push on Mother Runes, let the Dismember go away. I think that's reasonable. 4 damage is a lot of damage here, and picking off the Mother Runes is incredibly important. But in saying that, 6 is going to attack again. Alex is going to draw another card with the Monarchy. Scott lost his second card off Expressive Iteration. It's looking pretty bad. Although I don't know if Alex has access to red mana. He discarded a Horizon Canopy to cast the Palace Jailer. We know he has 2 moons in hand. He has a Blood Moon and a Magus of the Moon. Playing the Forest suggests that while Alex does have 5 mana, he doesn't have red mana. So he can't Blood Moon Scott out of black, which is pretty important. No, he does have a mountain. Okay. Well, he's almost certainly going to cast one of the moons. He kind of has to here. Unless he wants to get value out of retracing another spell. He could get Mother of Runes back. We're discarding Beseiju to cast Laelia. Okay. And then draw off Monarchy. So we're not Blood Mooning Scott here. Despite... It's an interesting line. I think I would have preferred to Blood Moon there. The chance of it resolving is relatively high. The chance of it winning you the game if it resolves is relatively high. And we had a Forest in hand. Yeah, I mean, getting value out of 6 while it's in play is important. But at the same time, he's drawn 2 lands off it. He's already got value. I think I would have just jammed something. Scott resolving a Brainstorm here. Looks like he's asking Alex what's in his hand, or how many cards. Alex has 2 moons, an Arena of Glory, and a Forest, and another land. Okay. Cycle Lorien revealed. Okay. It's going to get Bulk or C, which is fine. Can have access to 2 mana. But again, Scott making land drops and drawing cards doesn't matter when Alex has the Monarchy, he has 3 creatures in play, he has more mana available. I just don't know if Scott can crawl back into this game without a very high impact play. Gonna play a Bauble and crack it. Gonna look at his own top card. Interesting he would do that after Lorien revealed, when he could choose to shuffle away a dead card. I guess he just has to hit the land drop this turn. We've got a Bolt on Laelia, so that's 1 threat down. We've got a Nethergoyf, which I imagine is about a 4/5. It might be a 5/6 here. So big blocker. That's a good deal. Got rid of Lalia, which is the biggest threat. No fetches in graveyard. Okay, so Nethergoyf's a 4/5. That's fine. So while Scott has spun wheels, drawn a bunch of cards, made a land drop, killed a creature, and played a threat, I don't know that any of it matters enough. Alex still has the Monarchy. He has the ability to Blood Moon Scott into the Stone Age. And then he'll just have the board. I imagine this is going to be a Morlock from the graveyard. If he's tapping out, it's got to be a big Morlock, right? Yeah, it is. Okay, so he's retracing Morlock for 4, so it's a 6/6. It's going to eat the Nethergoyf and exile it. I believe he's exerting the arena. Although I don't know if he's made that clear. He's made it clear now. Okay. And we're cracking in for 8. That's a lot of damage. Scott's going to go down to 6. I don't see a way that he comes back from here. Alex still has the Monarchy. He has all of the power in play. And notably, when Morlock fights something, it exiles if it kills a creature. And exiling Nethergoyf is a huge deal here. It means that Scott is down a recursive threat or a recursive blocker. I don't see a way that Scott wins this game. Yeah, and he packs it up. All right. So Alex wins game 1, and we're gonna go into sideboarding. I'll see if I can get match results. And we'll get you all this. Alrighty. So while the players are shuffling up for game 2, I'm going to do a bit of admin on my end. So we're going to get this. I'm going to put that as the screen. I'm just setting up my my interview space. Oh boy, howdy, that's large. There you go, everyone. Nice big Pog logo for you. Why is its default size absolutely enormous? Okay, that looks a bit healthier. And we'll need to do a zoom out there. We've got the audio. Okay. So while players are shuffling up for their sideboard games, I want to give a big shout out. So today's event is being run at Plenty of Games. It's based in the Melbourne CBD, and it's one of the best LGSs in Australia. If you're looking to buy cards, you can check out their website, and they do deliver, or you can pick up in store. They're running 2 events this weekend. One is the teams trios events, and one is a single entrant winner library. Both of these events are in 7 Point Highlander, and it's to celebrate Isaac's birthday. Isaac Lee, who we will have on a camera later on when possible. These events aren't possible without stores like this putting their neck out and making sure that Highlander is supported, because we're not supported by Wizards of the Coast. We run this event. We run this format. We make sure everything's functional. So huge shout out to Plenty of Games. If you're looking to pick up some cards and you want to support, by all means, check out their website. Make sure that you show them some love. I also want to give a shout out to my Patreon supporters. Without them, these streams and these events aren't really possible either. It's a huge deal that people are willing to support me financially in my quest for content creation. If you want to check out the Patreon and what you can get out of it, or if you want to support me financially, there's links down below that you can go to. But otherwise, that's it for the ad read. And let's get back to the game. Oh, it's okay. I don't need these.
Oh, Jimbo asked me to give them to you.
Thanks, Jim.
I'll come get them from you later.
All right, so we're getting into game 2 here, which is nice and quick. Scott's starting us off with a Preordain, and Alex with a Bloodstained Maya. I imagine we'll see a Mana Dork or a Mother of Runes or something. All right, so Alex in the tank about this Bloodstained Maya. Maybe they're just checking life totals. Gonna fire off a Noble Hierarch off presumably a Stomping Ground, and it's getting dazed. Alrighty, so Alex down to 17, losing the Mana Dork. And Scott going to get the momentum again. He's losing a land drop, but I think it's fine. Volcanic Island Go is a little weak. I would have liked to see a threat get played there. It's possibly as a removal spell, but I think if he had a burn spell, he would have just killed the Hierarch rather than countering it. Yeah, Vault Go. Alex going to untap the Stomping Ground, which was the fetch. So an Avacyn's Pilgrim, so at the very least he has a follow-up Mana Dork. He might have something a bit more potent here. Halfling, it's a big one. And then Elegant Parlor Surveilling. So it doesn't have another green source to play the Avacyn's Pilgrim, or is valuing the white. And Scott gonna burn the Delighted Halfling. So very notable there that he didn't burn the Hierarch and opted to daze it when he had the burn spell for the follow-up Mana Dork. I think losing mana over the course of a game by picking up a land with daze is very impactful. But at the same time, you might have drawn the burn spell. Scott following up with shocking a Water Grave and playing a Deathrite Shaman. So we know he's got an island in hand and a couple of other cards. Deathrite possibly going to accelerate him to 4 mana next turn. If it lives, it's getting a bolt pointed at it, and that goes through. And then there's the Avacyn's Pilgrim that we saw earlier. And then a tapped Sacred Foundry, I'm guessing. Okay. So, because of the days, Alex now has the mana advantage, Dorks aside. He hit his 3rd land drop before Scott did. He now has access to 5 mana if the Avacyn's Pilgrim lives, which means he can hardcast the Fury in his hand if Scott puts a creature or a Planeswalker in play. And Scott following up with the island that we knew about, and now has a couple of different options here. If he has the ability to kill the Mana Dork, it's lost a lot of efficacy, just because Alex been making his land drops, and likely has a curve that tops out at about 4 or 5. I would really love to see Scott develop a threat here. Something high impact is really how he's going to win this game. Doesn't look like it. Might be holding up a counter spell. And Alex is going to untap, draws a Misty Rainforest. So he does have access to 5 mana. He can realistically cast anything in his deck. It's just a matter of what he puts on the stack here. I think I see a Seasoned Dungeoneer next to the Fury. If Dungeoneer resolves, that's huge. I don't know if he'll just jam that. But he might pull the trigger. He is. He's going to go for Dungeoneer. I can't imagine this is resolving. If it's resolving, Scott's dead. Okay. Counterspell, picks off the Dungeoneer. Alex is probably going to crack the fetch for a Surveil. So Scott gets to untap. He has access to 4 mana. He can kind of do what he likes here. So I really need to see a high impact play. We've countered the Dungeoneer. We know that Alex's hand is pretty light. He's got about 2 cards. So if we have any kind of threat, we need to be jamming it. Tasiga's the choice. Probably going to be good enough to help put on some pressure. Notably, Tasiga and Gurmag Angler, which are the delve threats of choice for Grixis, both of those dodge Fury. So huge deal here. Scott having the momentum back in his favor now. Alex is going to crack the fetch end of turn. He either gets a Forest or a Surveil here. If he gets a Forest, it's for Blood Moon purposes, and if he gets a Surveil, he's hoping to find something. Gets a Commercial District, very reasonable. And now Alex is under pressure. Scott has stemmed the bleeding. He's interacted very heavily with what Alex has been doing all game. And now he has a 4/5. It's a 4-turn clock. It's threatening to end the game relatively soon. If Alex plays Fury and doesn't pick off a creature, it does threaten to trade with the Tasiga. And whether or not he's willing to pull the trigger on that kind of depends on his hand makeup here. Because picking off a creature is sort of the minimum requirement for Fury in order to get value out of it. If you can't kill anything, it's pretty medium. Obviously, Fury has the ability to kill up to 4 things, but, outside of Magical Christmas Land. Alex has put a Carpet of Flowers on the stack, and Scott is responding with a Gush, picking up his tapped Underground Sea and his Island. At the very least, if he doesn't find a counterspell for Carpet, this is going to take away some of Alex's mana this turn. Carpet is still going to be making 2 mana, which means if he plays a land, he has access to 7, which is way too much mana. He's going to be able to cast almost anything. So I imagine he has to have something to do here. Looks like a comet. Okay, so he's used his Carpet, and he's played a comet, and now we're rolling. That's a 1, which will make some squirrels. Notably, the squirrels can protect Comet, and now, all of a sudden, Scott is losing this game. He has a 4/5. He's picked up 2 of his lands, so he has access to 3 mana now. But Tasiga does not get through squirrels, and Comet has the potential to win the game at pretty much any point in time. So he's going to need something to end things. Looks like we have an Unlicensed Hearse. Interesting card to board in this matchup. And I think we definitely should have attacked with Tasiga there, just to clear out a squirrel. I don't know that Scott's life total is worth protecting here. So Alex has 3 carpet mana, which gives him 8 total. If he plays a land, that's 9. I imagine we're going to start things off with rolling a Comet and seeing what happens. If Comet rolls the damage mode, Tassic is going to die. If it rolls the regrowth mode, then the hearse is actually going to check that, which is pretty good. And we're going to roll. And hearse is going to tag Halfling and... No, Bolt and Halfling, sure. So Comet not picking those up. And we'll see what it rolls. I can't even see what that is. I think it's a 1. I think he's got squirrels again. So now Alex has 4 squirrels to attack and block with against a Tassiger. His Comet's on 9. He has a Fury in hand. He might get frisky and attack here. And I think attacking is probably correct because he does have a Fury and that would kill the Tassiger. So I think you attack with 2, maybe 3 squirrels. Unless he's casting something else. It's 3 carpet mana, so this is 7? Is this Morlock for 5? That would be disgusting. That's a Morlock for 5. So if this resolves, he's drawing a card, he's blowing up the Tassiger, it's getting exiled, the game's probably over. And he's dismembering the Morlock, which is a 7/7 down to a 2/2. So it dies to Tassiger. Okay. I think the players are trying to work out what's happening here. Alex with 1 card in hand. We know it's a Fury. I believe the Comet is on the wrong amount of loyalty. Should be on 9 here. Considering we hit squirrels. Scott gonna crack a fetch. Has access to 4 mana. Presumably getting Sanctuary if he's cracking the fetch now. Though he doesn't really have anything to pick up. It's like a counter spell and that's it. Might just be getting a Surveil. So in this spot, Alex has a Comet that's been active for a couple of turns. He has a Carpet, so he has all the mana he needs. And he currently has a board state of a bunch of squirrels, which will either be relevant or not, depending on if Scott has something like a Fury or a Deluge. Scott, on the other hand, has a Tassiger and an Unlicensed Hearse to check graveyards. And he has a couple more cards in hand. I would still say, given that we know that Alex's hand is a threat, and it looks like he's fixing up the Comet loyalty, that's good. So Scott has access to 4 mana. So he can activate Tassiger or he can cast something. I don't know what he can cast that's hyper relevant here. I think he needs to be attacking with Tassiger. He needs to be getting rid of these squirrels somehow. Okay, so it looks like he's passed. Alex has announced Comet. He's eaten some cards in response to Comet's roll. I don't know what that's rolled. I think it's a regrowth. Looks like a regrowth, must have been a 3. He's picking up Arena of Glory. Okay. We need to fix the loyalty again. And I think Alex has finally recognized that he needs to be attacking with some of these squirrels. Because he has the Fury in hand. I don't know if he should be attacking with all of them. It should be 3. I think 3 is correct, maybe 2. But having the Avacyn's program means he can block with that anyway. He's attacking with 4. He's going to get in for 3 and put Scott to 10. Then he's going to get 3 Carpet Mana, and he's going to be able to cast a Fury. He's going to tag the Tasigur if it resolves. And if it does, the game's probably over. And I think Alex's other card was a Flage, which is a huge deal. So 3 Carpet Mana plus 2 lands. Put a Fury on the stack, see if it resolves. If this resolves, Tasigur is dead, and if Tasigur is dead... Oh, we're activating Tasigur. Tasigur is definitely dead. So Tasigur's activated ability mills you for some cards, at which point your opponent gets to give you a non-land to put in your hand. I imagine he's going to give him Dismember, because Scott's on 10 here. I think EI and Gush and Counterspell are all too powerful, although in this spot Counterspell is a little weak because he's tapped out and he knows the Fury is going to resolve. Dismember is an answer to Fury, which is representing a lot of Alex's damage at the moment. It's a pretty stacked Tasigur option. He's brought Gush to the front. There's no way he's giving him Gush. Gives him Gush. Okay. That's brave. I'm surprised he gives him Gush, not because it digs him furthest, but it has so many follow-on effects. It means Scott can have access to 5 mana next turn. It means the carpet is weaker. He could have Gushed in response and tried to hit Force blue card for the Fury, which I think I would have liked. But Scott gonna untap with 4 lands, Gush in hand, an Island in hand, and a Hearse against 6/3 Fury, 3 Squirrels, a Comet, a Carpet for infinite mana. He's put an Oculus on the stack. Okay, it's a start. And then he's going to put Gush on the stack. Committing to Oculus before Gush is interesting there. I think it's just a sequencing thing. But at the same time, if you know you're probably going to have to Gush. Okay.
Thank you.
And then he's... Okay, so Scott has an Oculus, a token, a Ledger Shredder, and a Hearse. He's against 3 Squirrels, a Fury, which will trade with anything, a Comet, which can roll anything, an Arena of Glory, which can haste out the Flage that we know is in Alex's hand, because I imagine he must have... Oh, actually, because of Hearse, I don't think he's been able to get enough cards in graveyard. Yeah, he's got 3 left. Okay. So Alex doesn't have the ability to cast the second mode of Flage unless he does something weird, like crack a fetch and kill his Avacyn's Pilgrim or something. He rolled a 6? Boy, howdy. What did he? I can't see. I can't see what he's rolling, but he's still rolling, so he's got to be hitting some amount of sixes. I think he's hit 2 or 3 sixes. I'm pretty sure Scott's dead. I think he hit the damage mode, and Comet had enough loyalty to just kill him. So that's GG's. Alex is going to win that 2-0 by the looks of it, and win a match point for his team. For those of you who don't know, in teams, in team formats, you have 3 team members, and each of them will play a match that is a best of 3 against an opponent, and each of your individual matches will contribute to 1 point towards your match result as a team. So Alex's team is up at least 1-0 now because of this win, so well done there. GG's, well played. Now, in terms of where we go from here for the coverage side of things, I'll see if I can get a result from the match. But otherwise, I think we'll take a brief pause. I'll mute the mic. I'll leave you all with Charlie, and I'll go get some people on camera for an interview. So stay with us, stay tuned, and we'll see you soon. Hi everyone, Volty here. Today's video was brought to you with the lovely help of my patrons and donors who you can see up here on screen. If you would like to financially support the content, there's links down below, and you can make sure that if you're able to and you want to help support the channel, that you can do so. You'll also get your name visible up here on screen as well, which is very cool. If you are watching this on YouTube, please consider subscribing. It's free, it doesn't cost you anything, and it really helps out the channel a ton. And if you're watching this on Twitch, please consider clicking that follow button as well. The bell will let you be notified of when streams are going live. But otherwise, that's it from me. I'll catch you all next time.